Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rokakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the grand millstone that rule well. Salakia. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you all, I say Shalom. This is your brother Mayaka Olive from the GMS West Palm Beach Camp. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And as you see on the screen, this is a post from an Instagram page called The Shade Room, and it says the Shade Room Health. Atlanta ranks third in new high five infections nationwide. And I call it high five because how you say hi, H-I, like hello, hi, and the V is the number 5 in Roman numerals. So, even in the world, I used to call this pestilence high five because it is a pestilence, man. And the Lord said, in the last days, there will be earthquakes, famines, and pestilences, man. Roughly paraphrasing. So we have a pestilence that's been here, but now, it's going crazy. And this pestilence is really specifically designed for Jake, man. All right? And this is why, there's a patent on it. Because this pestilence is literally designed for Jake. Not only by the Lord, but by the sword of the Lord, which is Esau Edom, all right? Which the so-called white man, which the Lord uses Esau as his sword, man, pursuant to Psalm chapter 17. But this is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, and verse 15. He that sinneth before his maker, let him fall into the hand of the physician, right? And the reason I'm bringing this out through the Spirit, it's like here, because this pestilence, this plague, is really judgment, man. And I'm going to prove it how this is judgment, man. This is judgment of the Lord. All disease and sickness is really judgment. Not all of them. Some of them are really the Lord will have, people go through these plagues and sicknesses just so they could get healed and start believing. Because a lot of people won't believe just by hearing. A lot of people will believe by seeing, right? And this is, the proof of this. I shouldn't say proof, but we know this to be true because of what the Lord told Thomas, man. Because you have seen, you have believed, but blessed are they that have believed without seeing. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, but according to this caption, it says, "If you live in Atlanta, we have important information for you." Right, because a lot of people that follow this page, man, the Shade Room, are the majority of people that follow this page, the Shade Room, are people that just love folly, the nigger woman, and sodomites, man. All right, so of course they're going to give the warning out to their followers because a lot of their people that follow this page are sodomites, and sodomites are the ones to really fear this pestilence, man. All right, it says, if you live in Atlanta, we have important information for you. According to Fox 5 Atlanta, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, most recent data on new cases of high five show that Metro Atlanta ranked third for the highest number of new cases, with more than 1,500 reported in 2021. Memphis and Miami were also cities that ranked high, right? You see, in 2021, in the height of the pandemic, when everything was locked down, because shit was locked down in Georgia and Atlanta, man. New cases of high five were still being spread, man. All right. So, that number is going to be much higher now. The 2023 numbers, 2024 numbers are going to be much higher because shit is back open again, man. All right. Reports state that new cases accounted for more than half of the 2,371 reported in Georgia in 2021. So, in the whole state of Georgia, there was 2,400 new cases of high five. But in the city inside of Georgia, Atlanta, 1,500 of those 2,400 were in that city alone, man. All right, and who lives in Atlanta? It's mostly as the Southern Kingdom, man. SK Jake, man. You still call blacks, Haitians, and Jamaicans, right? Atlanta is a so-called black city, man. Right? And this is why you see such prevalent cases or such high number of new cases of high five, man. Jeff Cheek, and Omen Nomen, right? His last name is Cheek, and High Five is spread, you know, majority through sodomites, man. And his last name is Cheek, man. All right. Jeff Cheek, Fulton County Director of HIV Eliminate Slovakia of High Five Elimination, said that we have seen High Five growing in the South, and Atlanta has some of the highest numbers in the South, man. Right? Because it's a plague and pestilence for Jake, man. Now, real quick, let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11. Wisdom of Solomon 11 and verse 15. But for foolish devices of their wickedness, wherewith being deceived, they worship serpents void of reason, and vile beasts. Thou didst send a multitude of unreasonable beasts upon them for vengeance. Right. Verse 16. That they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished. Right. The way you go off is the way you're going to be punished, man. So if you go off by defiling your temple, defiling your body, the Lord's going to destroy your temple and your body, or have it destroy you, man. Right? Just like these people, they worship beasts and serpents. What did the Lord do? The Lord sent things that they worshipped against them, man. All right? That they might know that wherewithal a man sinneth, by the same also shall he be punished, man. And what does it say in the book of First Corinthians, chapter 3? First Corinthians 3 and 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. Right, you defile your temple, the Lord's going to destroy you, man. Because the Lord resides in that temple. The Lord resides, the Spirit of the Lord resides in Jake, man. This is why Jake, even when they're about to go off, they'll have a conscience that tell them, yo, this shit is wrong, but they're still doing it anyway. And that's wicked, man. If you think something is wrong, even if it's not wrong, if you think something is wrong and you still do it, that's wickedness, man. And the book of Romans tells us that, man. Actually, through the Spirit, let's go to Romans real quick. Actually, real quick, let's go to Romans 15. I think it's 16. Slovakia. Bear with me 1 second, Baba Kashar. Is it 15 and 9? No. So like the Lord willing, it'll come to me. But let's go to Romans chapter 1 real quick to show that Romans chapter 1 and 24. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, right? Because when a man lies with a man, or when a woman lies with a woman, right? You dishonor your body. You dishonor the Lord, man. You dishonor your own body between themselves, right? And this is what the end of when Romans 1 goes into. It goes into sodomy, man, and the wickedness of it. Romans 1 and 25, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust toward one another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. Of their error which was meet, right? Receiving in themselves, man, destruction, judgment, man. Right? Just like men, the natural use of a woman is procreation, man. And the way you get to procreate is sex. With sex causes procreation, right? But a man laying with a man can't procreate. So the natural use of a woman is procreation. But men were burned in their lust towards one another, and still are today, man. And this is why you see these cases skyrocket. And then this news report, it tells you that the two. She doesn't say what they are, but there's a reason why Atlanta is dealing with this, because there's two major uh, stigmas surrounding high five, and that is it's a sodomite disease, one, and so-called black people spread it. Those are the two major stigmas behind this, right? But when you see this shit spreading like this in so-called black cities, Memphis is a black city, Miami's a Jake city. It may not be a so-called black city, but it's still a Jake city. And this goes to show you that this is just the word of the Lord. High five, HI 5 in Roman numerals is the sword of the Lord, man, or it's part of the sword, man. If you go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and verse 13, if a man also lie with mankind as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Right? And the reason why we got to keep bringing these out through the Spirit is because, there's so many people cool with this lifestyle and behavior, man. And not knowing that, or understanding, but not believing that this lifestyle brings about death, destruction, and disease and pestilence, man. All right, so we read this in Leviticus 20 and 13, how men lying with men and women lying with women are an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. That's what the scripture says. And this is the law, man. This is the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. This is what God says has to happen to these people, man. And you're starting to see it, man. Or you see it with the side effect of high five, man. And what proves that this is a side effect of the Lord, right? If we go to Google, right? I brought this out in a lesson before, but I said it was 10%. But the number is really lower, but it could be up to 10%. I'm going to put which people are immune to high five. It says 1% of people descended from North Europeans, particularly Swedes, are immune to high five of infection. These lucky people are homozygous carriers of the mutated gene, meaning that they inherited a copy from both of their parents, right? And this is what high five is, man. High five is a genetic mutation, man. So and this is why there's a patent on it, because it was spliced. This gene was spliced in a laboratory and given out to Jake, man. And this is why Jake is able to get it so easily. But there are people walking this earth, primarily Edomites, man, that are immune to it, man. And because they're immune because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, they practice in Leviticus 20:13 more than anybody, man. Jake just do it with flair. That doesn't mean that, see, a Jake will walk around the streets. A Jake man will walk around the streets in a dress, makeup, wearing weave and shit, and be a full-blown sodomite. But Esau will walk down the street looking like a so-called man, looking like a man, but being a sodomite, man. He just has that lust burned in him, man. All right, but I believe it also said, a small proportion of humans show partial or apparently complete innate resistance to HIV, the virus that causes HELP, or aid. The main mechanism is a mutation of the gene encoding CCR5, which acts as a co-receptor for high five. It is estimated that the proportion of people with some form of resistance to high five is under 10%. Right. So under up to 10% of Edomites, primarily, it doesn't say it here, but people from Northern European, particularly Swedes, and that's talking about the modern day descendants, not the ancient descendants, man. Right? The modern day descendants are immune to high five because it is judgment and the sword of the Lord, man. And this is what high five is. This is why it's a Jake disease, man. It really is a Jake disease because Jake is getting punished for being sodomites.
Hey Russ, Metro Atlanta saw more than 1,500 new cases of HIV reported in 2021. That's more than twice the national average. Health officials pointed to stigmas around the virus and access to care as ongoing issues contributing to
The two stigmas again are being Jake and being a sodomite. But again, this is the same pest. Not, I'm not gonna call it the same pestilence, but this is pestilence that is going around because who was in charge of the of health on the government side during the pandemic? It was a man called Dr. Anthony Fauci, and who was in charge of the health on the government side during the high five pandemic? It was again this nigga Dr. Anthony Fauci, man. So again, like the book of Sirach 38 says, man, if you sin before your maker, and practicing in Leviticus 20 and 13, and sodomy is sinning before your maker. If you sin before your maker, let him fall into the hands of a physician, right? Let these plagues of pestilence fall upon you, man. All right, I'm going to get one more. I'm going to wrap up, man. Lord willing. I believe it's Exodus 15. Yeah, Exodus 15 and 26. And said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, again Leviticus 20 and 13, right? I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that healeth thee, right? All health comes from the Lord. That means all sickness comes from the Lord too, man. Right, but I'm going to wrap it up with that. Lord, one of this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say shalom and abad babal.